Hello, pianists and teachers and parents. Here's how you can eat the frog during your weekly practice. Now, let's say you have 4 assignments to accomplish between lessons. Usually, you may practice assignment number 1, then go right on to assignment number 2, maybe using link and chain practice, and then maybe assignment number 3, you're going to use around the world practice because you're working on memorizing it, and then you're going to finish up with assignment number 4. Now that's called blocked practice. Science has told us that your brain needs to use something called interleaving practice more often because that's what makes things stick. So here's how you interleave practice. First of all, you have to pick out your hardest assignment, the eat the frog assignment. So always make that one number 1, your very first one. And then what you want to do is you want to play that or practice that assignment more than one time, but in between your other assignments. So you're going to intersperse them between your assignments like that. And now, don't worry, you don't have to do it forever. And that's why it's good to have a timer, a sand timer in your practice pouch. So you'll probably practice your first assignment and go ahead and set the sand timer and then go on to assignment number 2 after the sand timer has been emptied, then flip it over and practice assignment number 1 again. And that's how you work in interleading practice into your practice. Now, sometimes it's hard to fit everything in at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day. And so that's when you do something called spaced practice, where you're gonna do some of it in the morning, some of it in the afternoon after school, or whenever it works for you. And that is also good for your brain. Now, to keep track of your practice and your assignments, I've got this sheet right here, and we can put it in front of your binder, or you can also put it in a sleeve like this. What you want to be able to do, though, is to update this weekly with a dry erase marker. And I want you to make sure that you go into your Tanara assignment, and I want you to read through the instructions that you and I have determined during your lesson, just to remind yourself of how you're going to practice each one of the assignments. And every time you read an assignment in Tanara, just go ahead and put a check mark on it. And then if you listen or watch YouTube videos of anything, make sure that you mark that down too. Now, listening counts almost as much as practicing. And then what you want to do is write down your eat the frog assignment number 1. So that could be a sonatina. And you don't have to write all the details, but just write sonatina. Maybe you don't have 2 eat the frog assignments. Maybe you just have 1 this week. And then perhaps you have a scale to work on and a Spanish piece, and maybe you are working on a 30-piece challenge. So you can just kind of jot that down, and then every time you practice any one of those, you want to put little check marks. Now, my goal for you would be to interleave the hardest assignment 5 times between lessons. The rest of these, maybe not as many times, but try and interleave your practice. And you know what? Interleave can also be where you practice the hardest assignment, then go away and do some homework. Maybe it's not a piano assignment, maybe it's something else. That also counts. This is the best thing for your brain, to flip-flop between things that are very similar but different. That's why I have the word again here in my studio, because your brain needs repetition. That's how it learns. But it also needs that time to struggle, to remember, to go away from something and then come back to it. All right, all the best in your practicing this year.